90% of the problems are in your own head. And, it's like a simple analogy. You drive in to get to work. The traffic robots are out on Winnie Mandela. Everyone knows the issue here. Are you going to change that outcome? You're not going to. So why do you work yourself up? Because you cannot control that. And, like you said, with how many times you've been in a stressful situation, you've come to overcoming that situation and you realized, oh, okay, that wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I got through it.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of life, is if you can start learning. People often say to me, they're like, okay, but when does it end? And I'm like, it never ends. You just become better at managing the problem. It will never end. You need to understand that your whole life, the problem actually becomes bigger. When you sit maybe in that one day at the CEO level, you're dealing with a lawsuit, a massive problem. But as you grow older, your problems become bigger. But you learn and you need to adapt to managing those problems. And I think that's where it benefited me in my life, is like when I'm given a problem, immediately I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to fix it? And that's why I don't stress. I'm like, okay, how am I going to fix this? I know I'm going to overcome it. I might not know how I'm going to overcome it, but I'm going to.
So what I did for a long period in my life, and like I said, I've overcome this and I still battle with it, but I'm overcoming it with therapy, with talking to people and stuff like that, is I used to think that if you focused on the worst case scenario, it can only get better because you're setting the bar so low that you can't be disappointed.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I used to go into almost everything. And then it would go well, and I'd find I actually still wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I was relieved that it didn't go as badly as I thought it would, but I still wasn't happy. And then as soon as I went in with this could go great, the interactions that I had went way better. Just everything in that situation started going better. It's like almost manifesting things. When you manifest something to go horribly,
it will.
It usually does.
Exactly.
And when you go in with a different attitude, the whole outcome is different.
Yeah.
But luckily you pulled through. So
a lot of people in your situation, I feel like they would have given up or felt really sorry for themselves. What advice would you give to someone in their life who, no matter what they're going through, is at a stage where they kind of feel like, what's the point? They feel like giving up.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say, I think finding like your passion, that's what really drove me personally. It's like, how many things are out there that I want to do? I was never just sitting at home sort of watching time go by. So find your thing, and then that like sort of think about it. Why do we live? I mean, why do you work? It's to do those things and to experience life. And that was for me, like I wanted to do that. I hadn't done it enough, and that's what I did. And then setting small goals. I mean, for me, that was the one thing. Whatever it is in your life, you can't go from a wheelchair to running. The gap is so huge. I had to go from a wheelchair to a walking frame to 2 crutches to 1 crutch. That was my progress. And then when you set small goals and you can just see like just that little bit of improvement, that's going to also drive you,
Yeah.
If you run a business, you can't start it and go make $1 billion a year. But if you start it and slowly you see your profits increasing, more clients, like that, you got to break it down really. And
I definitely agree with that. I think there's definitely importance in valuing the small gains, because if you look at the mountain ahead of you, it can be so overwhelming that you don't know the next you don't know the next step. You don't know how the hell you're going to get to that point. But sometimes when you just focus on a small win, it's almost like a little bit of a dopamine hit.
100%. and then you feel proud of yourself, and then it makes you want to go and do more. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, what's it like? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Because if you think of 1,000 miles, you're gonna get overwhelmed.
But people are all different. Children are all different. It's the same when choosing a school for a child. Not every child fits into the same kind of streamlined schools. And it's so important to find what suits their personality. And much like I say to my staff every day, you've got to wake up and love coming to work. I don't want you to wake up and just come because you need that salary at the end of the day. You've got to enjoy it because you spend more time with me than you do at home with your families. And I say to my kids as well, make sure you're happy at school. And we try to choose the right school because you're going to spend more time at school than you are at home in your school career. So find what brings you joy.
Do you have any advice for someone who's passionate, they've got some sort of dream or idea, but they're a little bit hesitant to put it into action?
I say go for it. So when you said risks, I've never written down on a piece of paper the risks involved in anything. I don't know. And I just run with things. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And we move on to something else. And if it does, then I'm like, yay, and we make it grow. You never know if something's going to work until you try it. You have to take a chance in anything. It's the same with a relationship. You don't know if you're going to really love that person unless you ask them on that date and you try it. In business, you don't know if it's going to succeed. But hopefully, if it's something you're passionate about, if you've got some backbone behind you, you can take those risks.
The things I said 20 years ago, I'm living now. And so, I know because I had a vision board, I had a house up, and all the stuff that I put there, I'm, happily married with kids, and, all these things are now in my life. And so it's things that I believed long ago, but I knew I was working towards them every day. And that's where the gratitude comes in, is be grateful for what you have, even if it's not where you want to be. Because if you can't be grateful for what you have now, you're not going to get more. Even if it's a shitty life that you have right now, be grateful that you have arms, legs. Start with the basics. I wake up every morning and I do gratitude every single day of my life. And I lie in bed and I'm grateful for, first of all, when I wake up is that I'm Robert Greene and my arms and legs are working. And then I'll, touch the wall behind me and I'll be like, I'm grateful for my house, for my life. And then I start with my family and I go into everyone in my family. I mention, D, Buddha, down Pori, my brothers, my sisters. I literally just go through names. And then even into my office, I'll start at the bottom left corner and I'll start with the call center managers and I'll go into all the field managers. I'll go into all my admin staff. I'll go into Cape Town, Durban, PE. And I'll just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And, it just starts me off in the right place. When I start my day, I'm already in a better place because I'm so grateful for everyone around me.
%. I think that human element of it and understanding that we're not alone in anything that we're going through. Like, we all have moments that we're anxious. We all have moments that, okay, I don't know if this is going to work. There's moments that, okay, I'm not as confident in myself as I might have been before. But the thing that I try to key in is that when you felt that feeling and you still did the thing, what was the gap between there? Because that's a powerful skill to have. Like, we've all been scared on, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can start this thing. I don't know if I can start that business. I don't know if I can do all these things. But all the people before us that did them felt the same kind of way and they still did it. So, like, what is that perseverance? What is that mindset? What are those things that they implemented that I can also implement now to make my dreams a reality? I think thinking about that thing, at least I'd rather be anxious and did it than be anxious and regret that I never know what could have possibly happened. Regret is something that I fear. Like, I fear regret so much. Like, I never want to be that old man in the old age home and said, oh, you know, I could have done this and I could have done that and I could have done that. I'd rather say I tried everything and it didn't work, but the story was beautiful. I'd rather be that guy.